In this video, we're going to be talking all about the benefits of effective journalism. In this video, we're going to talk all about the benefits of effective journaling. I actually said that word right. I can't even believe it. Coming up next. Hi everybody, my name is Dee Burks and this is Retirement Rescue, where we talk about how to make money, save money, and live well in retirement. Well, as most of you know, if you've watched my channel for a little bit, I work from home. I have for years. And now that everybody else is working from home, a lot of people have wondered, okay, how do I organize myself? How do I get anything done? The way I do it is through the use of effective journaling. And what does that mean? Let's talk about journaling for just a sec. Now, when some people say journaling, they mean write a diary. Okay, I will tell you right up front, every time I tried to start a diary in junior high, I sucked at it. Even though, yes, I totally am a writer. But for whatever reason, I am just not the kind of person that wants to write about my emotions and feelings and what's going on during the day. It ended up being a bullet point list, y'all, because that's just who I am. So when I think about the idea of journaling, it combines a lot of things. For me, it's about being productive and organized from a work standpoint, being able to log and track my big goals, being able to understand my finances and meet my financial goals, and then I need journals to track each business that I'm doing. It sounds like a lot. It's really not. Let me show you how I do it. Number one, decide what the journal is going to be. And when I say journal, y'all, the worst thing you can do is make it fancy. I don't mean one of these little fancy things, little fancy boxes that you have check marks and no. This is my journal, y'all. It is a spiral 88-cent notebook. Yes, it is. And I have probably 20 of them laying around. And that's what I use. It's what I have used for years. When I really got onto the idea of journaling to use for business and for personal use, at the time I was really into visioning. I wanted to vision what I wanted. I was just learning some personal development principles. And let me show you one of my first journals. And you'll notice I was really into stickers. What was that about? Anyway, this is 07, and a lot of things were places I wanted to go, things I wanted to do, achievements I wanted to make. Some of the goals are financial, some of them are business. And you know, as time went on, my journaling evolved, and yours will too. But this is where I started. And it's really cool to have things that are 10, 15, 20 years old you can look back on and see your progress. That's fabulous. But now the way I journal is a little bit different. I have one notebook that is my to-do list. Almost every day, not every day, but daily-ish, I will write down what I need to get done the next day. Whatever I don't get done that day goes on the next day's list. Now, every time I make a list, I prioritize that list. And honestly, there are some things that are on the list for a while that eventually fall off because I've realized, okay, I don't really need to do that. It's not truly a priority. But I just make a quick list. It's a little bullet point list that I prioritize. And if I get the first several things on that list done, it's been a successful day. And that feels good. What I don't get done goes on the next list. It's super simple. That is also how I do my finances. I have a notebook that I write down each month what my bills are and what the amount I need to pay is, as well as where my savings are at and what I need to pay there. Now, depending on the cash flow for the month, because I'm self-employed, so it varies. If I have a lot more cash flow than expected, I have a contingency plan of what goes where. If I have less cash flow than expected, I have a contingency plan. And so I always know what's going on. Now you'll notice I absolutely will not talk about keeping a journal on a computer, even though, yes, I am a writer and I write on computer. You will not hear me talking about keeping a journal on an app. And here's why. Electronics are great, and they are. They're super convenient, blah, blah, blah. But when you're talking about goals, to-do lists, priorities, handwriting the things you need to do, the appointments you have, the things you need to do, handwriting those things out sets them in your mind. The same is true with your goals. Handwriting out your big ideas, your goals, the steps you need to take, cements it in your mind. For whatever reason, when I put that kind of stuff on a spreadsheet, I immediately forget it, and I never look at that spreadsheet again. I can't even tell you how many spreadsheets that have one thing on them. That's just not my thing. It may not be your thing either. If you've struggled keeping a journal or something like that online, then try handwriting it. You will be surprised at how much better you do when you handwrite it. It gives you that association immediately. So when I say, don't make it fancy, that's what I mean. Be simple. The simpler you can be. You don't have to buy a special little journal unless you want to. You don't have to do anything fancy. You don't have to have fancy pens, although I love my pens. Pilot, if you're watching, you need to sponsor this video. But anyway, do what you need to do, but just get it on paper. Get it on paper in a way that you can connect with. And when it's written down in a super simple 88-cent spiral, it's not like it's a big deal. I'm not sure what it is about writing something in a formal bound journal that people tend to self-edit. They get upset if their handwriting isn't perfect, or if they say something they think, oh, someone's going to read this and think it's stupid. No, nobody's reading your spiral notebook. Nobody cares. You can write anything in it, and it removes that self-editor, that whole, oh, I've got to do it right, or fancy, or fill in these blocks. No, it's your baby. You decide. The best way to start is just start writing things down. Write out your big ideas. Write out what you'd like to achieve. Write out, where you are on your finances, how you feel about that, where you want to be in 5 years. Start there. Start writing those things out. And then as you start getting in the habit of writing out your to-do list each and every day, it's amazing how much more productive you become. Even if you never look at that list the next day, you know what your priorities are immediately. Now, how my journals work together is I'll have one journal. For example, this journal right here, and this is actually a 3-subject notebook. Ooh, it's a biggie. YouTube! Fancy title, isn't it? But this is what I work out my YouTube content in. This is what I put down my research in. If I need something printed, I'll print it off and stick it in here. It is super easy. My ideas are all organized, so if I want to go back to a video idea that I had, a month ago or 2 months ago, it's right there in this book. If I, record things, I write down when I recorded them, when I uploaded them. It's all written right here in this book. And it's all together. Even though I keep content files on my computer and I save those, having it all written, I can quickly flip through it. I know what I have to do. Super easy, super convenient. Now, I also have spiral notebooks just like this for book projects I'm working on, for specific clients. When I have an interview with that client, even though I record all the interviews I have with clients, because I'm a ghostwriter and that's what professionals do, but I record those, but I also write down notes. I write down notes to myself as my client's talking, as we're discussing things, changes they want on their covers, for the production, for the layout. I write down those notes. And those are really important for me to go back and look at. I have everything in writing. I have things recorded, yes, but technology is not perfect. There have been times I've recorded blank audio of clients. That's always special. So I will have a notebook for each project. And when that project's retired, that notebook's retired. It's 80 cents. We can retire it, even if it's not full. The same is true with my own book projects that I'm working on. I will have a notebook of the evolution of that book project, whether that's not a nonfiction project or a fiction project. I will have a complete evolution of notes. Even if I change things, even if I go a different direction, I can always go back and find it. I never really have to worry about completely losing something. It's all there, even just ideas. In fact, one idea I have right now is actually an idea I had from almost 12 years ago. And I was reading through one of my old journals, and I thought, why didn't I do anything with that idea? And then a whole nother portion of the idea came into being. And so now I'm actively working on an idea from 12 years ago. So the evolution of what these notebooks can do for you, how they remind you what your goals were, where you were. They allow you to see your progress that you've made. Because as human beings, we always discount our own progress. Oh, I haven't come far. Oh, I haven't done much. That's ridiculous. Actually, I was just talking to a friend last night from high school, and she was like, oh, you've just done so many things, and you're so accomplished. She's like a big wig at Oracle. I mean, are you kidding me? And she completely downplays that. It's a huge accomplishment. But we all do that to ourselves. We downplay our own accomplishments. And having things written down and seeing the progression of who you are as a human being is incredibly valuable. And it's very encouraging to yourself. It's like your past self is giving your future self a little pep talk. And who doesn't love that idea? So don't be afraid to start a journal. Start it on the back of a napkin. Start it in a spiral notebook. It doesn't have to be fancy. Just start. Now, if you've enjoyed this video, please hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you next time.